And I'm cutting you. How many of you have done highlights? Everybody, you've done them on a mannequin at least, right? So you've all done a highlight, so you know how to weave, right? Woo, 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 woo. We're gonna do kind of the same technique with the razor. I'm gonna hit about a quarter of an inch here, skip a quarter of an inch, just come right through here and kind of etch this out. What this is gonna do, again, shorter hairs, push longer hairs. This is gonna help give all this lift and all this movement in the crown. There's an awful sound. And she's got a ton of weight up in the top. Now this is what will be for most people. This area is gonna be super heavy, so we're gonna shatter it out with our razor and we're gonna eliminate some of that bulk so that it'll give movement. But you can see her style, she like doesn't even really have to do anything. Even if it dries like this, you put a little spray or whatever and it's good to go. Like the shape is already created, the texture is already in there on how you cut it. Definitely a lot heavier on this side. You can see the difference, right? So I'm going to come through here, same thing. I'm going to etch out some of this hair. You can do this without removing extra length. You don't have to take off extra length. You're just removing bulk and you're creating movement. Now, through this part behind the ears, over directed front. When you guys are cutting up and over the ears and you're trying to connect your length, the main thing that you want to do is make sure that you always over direct the back forward. I see a lot of people brushing this down through here, but then you're missing all the length that's hanging over. You want to over direct the hair right through here down and connect from the top to the bottom. So what I'm going to do, keeping that in mind, I'm actually going to pick up a section through here. I'm going to keep it over directed and I'm going to etch out. I'm going to lay, just like I did it before, I'm going to lay it flat on top of my finger through here and I'm going to lightly etch out some of this hair. You can see that there's hair coming off, but I still have all the length there. That's just going to help graduate it in and get it to kind of hug the neck a little bit. You can actually come through and weave your razor and you can pull and take off length.
Do that again.
I'm going to do it up here through the front where it's a little bit longer. You'll see it again. Yeah, I said, Will, you should, I was telling her, he should come too. He could learn something too.
I've never seen the weaving thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You know who I learned that from?
Who?
Mama Carol.
Oh, shit.
Mama Carol, Mama Carol. Okay. Oops, there we go. Shortest, longest, I'm going to come through here. Take your section. Actually, we're going to give a little bit more. I'm going to come through here. Take a section, just like you would a highlight. That's about a 1/2 inch thick, right? A couple inches wide, 2, 3, 4 inches, something like that. I'm going to come through here, and I'm going to take my razor, and I'm literally going to up and down, in and out, weave through the hair. Now, if I have less hair on top, I'm going to get less, right, removal. If I have more hair on the bottom and I want more hair out, then I can push down on the bottom, right? So depending upon which angle I use my razor is going to determine what result I get. Now, again, if I want to remove all this length, if I wanted to remove those 2 inches within here, I could press really hard and pull firmer. That's going to give me more of that actual length removal. I don't want to do that. All I want to do is just lightly come through and pull through and etch some of that out. I don't want everything. This is going to create those shorter pieces through here that's going to allow this to have volume, but she'll still have all the length in front, right? Same thing, heavy through here. But this one I'm going to come through. A lot of times in doing a razor, guys, doing any sort of texturizing, you're not going to go deeper than half the strand. There are times and situations where it can be applicable, however, this is not one of them, okay? So I'm going to keep her hair, I'm going to hold it straight up. I'm using a little bit of tension. You can see that there's no bend really in the hair. That's going to make this part easier. I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing. Just come through, take out some of that hair. Now sometimes I'll have to go through, even when I'm done, and you can see the difference from this side that's been texturized and this side that hasn't. Right? This side is a little bit more airy on this side. This one's definitely got a lot more weight. You can see it. Sometimes even after doing all this razor work and doing whatever, sometimes you still have to go back in with the thinning shear and still take more bulk out, depending upon their hair type. I've had to do it with hers. But, let's see what we got. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of length out through here. I'm just going to etch this out. If I push this down and pull, you see that length actually just comes off, right? Now one thing you can do, she's got this natural, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, you'll see it when it's dry. She's got these natural, like, money pieces on her sides. They're a lot lighter and they're super pretty. So, like, depending upon how she parts her hair, she can accent it or not accent it. Another thing with the pixie cut, what I'm not gonna do on her is cut a super short textured bang. Sometimes people will take all this front length off and they'll have bangs that sit up through here and they have all this little texture through here. I'm sure you've seen it before, right? We're not gonna do that with her. We're gonna leave hers longer in the front instead of super shattering everything out and removing all her fringe area. But what I am gonna do is do a slight little angle here, and then I'm gonna do a slight angle here so that either way that she wears it, she'll have little variations of texture. Any questions? This little card? No? So if somebody comes in for a pixie, how are you gonna approach it? What are you gonna do for your consultation? What are you gonna find out? What kind they want, right? What direction they're gonna comb to. And then you're gonna look at the shape and you're gonna find out, is it a clipper pixie where you got a whole bunch of clippers on the side? Are we going down to like a 1/2 inch on the side and an 1.5 inch uniform on top? Or are we gonna do something that's disconnected? Are we gonna do like an undercut? Because I could come through here and shave this all down to a 1 or a 1/4 and leave this length hanging on top. That's still technically a pixie, right? There's so many different versions of the cut. So you wanna find out which one you want, and then you can go from there. I highly recommend that when you guys start haircuts, that you start with the top. The reason why I say start with the top is because here's what I see a lot of people doing. We clip all this up here. Then we start down here, and then we're trying to do our blend before we've even cut our top. Your blend point is your last point. If I know that I need to get my exterior perimeter and I need to get my interior guide to connect, I need to establish both of those before I try to blend anything. So I come through, if I'm gonna be removing 3 inches of hair, if I was gonna take her down this short, and I was gonna do a taper down in here, I'm gonna come up through here and get all this bulk off here first. I'm gonna come and hit my uniform through my parietal and then meet it with my clipper work. It's gonna save your blend time and it's gonna make you quicker with your haircuts, okay? So there's different ways to approach it. There's different, I'm not saying you have to do it that way. With some cuts it's just more efficient, and try it, see if you like it. If y'all are used to starting at the bottom, that's fine. But make sure that you do the top and then do your blend point. Don't try to do your sides and blend it into something you haven't even cut yet. It just doesn't work.
I'm coming closer.
What's that? Miss Ellie, ladies and gentlemen. She's used to being behind the camera, so now she's in front of it. I like it. Miss Ellie is a photographer and she's phenomenal.
Promo.
Right, shout out. That's how we do. So again, you can see the texture, you can see the pieciness, you can see the movement. A lot of times people will want it super clean. Ellie's neckline usually is going to be a little bit cleaner. I'm going to show you that once I get it dry, like I said before. Okay, so I'm going to dry it up real quick and style her. See if there's any modifications I need to make. Now it seems silly that I said I'm gonna dry her and I got her more saturated, but I'm gonna put some root pump in, I'm gonna put some thermal protection, and I don't want to make her hair too heavy, so I need a little bit more moisture added in here. Before I do it, I'm going to use Root Pump Plus. Right? That's what this thing looks like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come right through here in this crown area and on her parietal ridge. All I'm gonna do is give a nice little spray. Come through the crown area. This predominantly is gonna get worked in at that scalp area. You literally just put it in and shake it around, comb it through the hair. This is gonna help create the lift and the shape up through here that I need for her style. I'm also gonna use a tiny bit of thermal protection, just since I'm blow drying. Okay, couple different sizes in blow dry, round brushes. This one's super tiny. This one's gonna be a little bit bigger, depending upon how short you go and how tight of a curl you want. This is gonna determine which one you're gonna use. I'm gonna do a little bit wider up in her crown area. I probably won't use a super small one, but this one, all I'm gonna do is literally just comb the hair on top of it. I don't have to like overly try to focus on super round brushing, because you can see that it's short enough that it's not gonna go a full circle. It's just gonna lay on there. But what this is gonna do, by over directing this up and trying to get max volume, right? What degree achieves on base? Who knows? 45 what? You're correct, 45 above, correct, 45 above, right? 45 above, if I roll this 45 above, I'm gonna get right on the base of this tool and of this section. If I do 90, which is what y'all roll your perms out, that's why it's half off. If I do 45 below, I'm gonna get down through here. I want max volume, so I'm gonna go 45 above, and I'm gonna let this sit so that when it dries, she's like that. Because I want the focus to be up through here, okay? A lot of times your pixies, if you're shattered out and you don't have a lot of length through here, most of your focus is gonna be right in this crown area. Okay, and then you'll have this will be smoother and flatter, directed toward either side of the face, most volume and texture through here. If you have this filled out, then sometimes your volume area will be through here, and then this will get kind of tucked down on the neck just a little bit, textury and movement, but still have a little bit of volume. You can also come through and flip this part out at the bottom. Sometimes if they leave it longer, they'll flip this out.
You're getting all types of answers to test questions today. I hope you guys are paying attention.
That's real though. That 45 above, that 90, and that 45 below, those are important. Okay. What % does hair need to be dry before you start round brushing? Yeah. So, I don't need... Did that just hit you in the head? No. Okay, good.
We didn't get that either.
Yes. Well, if you did, you did. I don't have any disinfecting spray either. By the way, Nelson, thanks for letting me borrow your blow dryer this morning. So I'm going to dry it a little bit before I really start round brushing anything. You can do this flatter, but I'm going to do max volume. Because the line